Hi Kaiser Crafters, this is Collette. Today I'd love to show you how I've made this diamond fold card. Pretty cute card with a lovely fold that's not too hard to do. I'm actually using the Little One collection from Kaiser Craft. This is a absolutely adorable collection full of owls and elephants and balloons, beautiful colours. So it's going to be perfect for this little newborn baby card that I'm doing. So I've used the 6.5 inch paper pad. I am also using the collectibles as the embellishments on the card. And I have to show you this, although it's not related to the card. Kaiser Craft are continuing to bring out wonderful decorative dies. This is the one that accompanies the Little Ones collection. It's the elephant and the owl. I am going to have so much fun with this one later. Just had to show you that one. And as our card base, I'm actually using our Kaiser card, and it's the island that I'm actually using. So it's CD150 Island, which teams up beautifully with the papers in that collection. So let's get started. I've gone ahead and cut my card base to size, and the card base is 11 inches by 6 inches. This way I'll get 2 cards out of the one sheet of paper. So just to recap, 11 inches by 6 inches. I now need to score this. Now I'm going to score this at the following, and always when I'm scoring I use the Kaiser ball tool, just rubbing that in a little bit of soap, dry soap. That makes it run beautifully on the paper without catching. So I need to score this on the long side at 4 inches, 6 inches, and 7.5 inches. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard, I've shown you in previous videos how you can score using the Kaiser Craft trimmer and other trimmers as well. So go ahead and use those. So just to recap, I've scored at 4, 6 and 7.5 inches. I now need to make a couple of pencil marks on this particular piece of paper, and I'm going to pencil mark on the long side here at 2 inches. Now you'll notice on my scoreboard I have these black lines drawn at each of the inch increments. This enables me to mark the top here at 2 inch and very easily to identify which line I'm using, so I can mark 2 inches on the bottom. So I've marked 2 inches on the top and 2 inches on the bottom. I now need to rotate that, and I need to mark this at 3 inches. So just one mark here at the 3 inch. Okay, so those are now marked, and I now need to continue scoring. And to score, what I have to do is I have to score from this little 2 inch pencil mark that I made all the way down at an angle to that 6 inch score line. That's the second score line that we did earlier on. So if you can see this here, the pencil mark is going to go all the way through the first score line down to the corner here, or the bottom of the second one. So to do that, I'm going to line up that pencil mark on one of my black lines on my paper trimmer, and then I'm going to line up the second score line. I'll just zoom that in a little bit for you. The second score line, so pencil mark is up here, and the second, or the 6 inch score line, is here, and I'm going to go ahead now and score that. Okay, and then I need to do exactly the same with the 2 inch mark on the other end of the paper. So I'm going to flip that round. Once again, I'm going to put this on one of my score lines, and I'm going to move the 6 inch score line on that same line. So that's done, and I can go ahead now and score that. So you can see there that we have a big cross with one of the score lines going through. That is correct. Okay, now the scoring tool can be put away, and we need to take out our paper trimmer for the next step. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to create the diagonal or the diamond front, and to do that I am going to cut from that 2-inch pencil mark to that little 3-inch mark we made earlier on the side. So putting this in my paper trimmer at an angle, so the 2 inches there, and I'm going to swing this around so that the 3-inch is also there. So my 2-inch mark is there, and my 3-inch pencil mark is here, and I'm now going to go ahead and cut that. And I'm going to do the same on the other end. So the pencil mark up against my cut line, and that pencil mark here up against my cut line, and we'll get rid of that. So now you can see we have a kind of diamond shape. So that's really all I need to do for the cutting for the moment. What we're now going to do is to fold this to create our diamond fold card. So with the diamond pointing this side, I'm going to start folding on the right hand, and I'm going to fold the verticals first. So the very first score line is going to be a valley fold. So therefore we're going to fold it away from us. Very important that you use your bone folder so you get nice crisp folds. So you can see the valley. The next fold across is going to be a mountain. So again, you can see that mountain going up. So we have the valley fold, and then we have a mountain. The next fold on the vertical ones that we do is going to also be a valley. Okay, so we've got valley, mountain, valley. I'm now going to turn my attention to the cross score lines, and the cross score lines are both going to be mountain folds, so they're folded away from me. Okay, and that then becomes our diamond fold card, and we can go ahead and start to decorate that particular diamond fold card. Pretty easy, hey? All right, so what I want to do is just show you how to decorate some of the more I guess harder awkward shapes, like the diamond and the half diamonds and the quarter diamonds. Okay, so let's get going. I'm going to take from my paper pad a sheet of paper. Actually, I've done this ahead. I'm pretty organised at the moment. I've got a sheet of paper that I've taken that I'm going to cover the front section of my diamond fold with. And I need to cut this, which I've done already, so that it is 5 3/4 inches, 5 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And I need to go ahead and I need to mark this with a pencil, just like we've done before. And on the short side, I need to mark it at 1 7/8. For many people, these 7/8 and 3/16 are very confusing. Let me just try and make that a little bit easier for you. So looking at my paper trimmer here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this at 1 7/8. Now, when you look down at the 1-inch line, you can see that you've got 16 little marks. If you count them, there's 16. They represent 1/16 of an inch. So if I was to say to you, I would like you to cut something at 1 2/16 or 3/16, say 1 3/16, you'll go 1 and you'll count 1, 2, 3. You would actually put that up against that third little mark. So if I was to say 1 9/16, you would count 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'd pop that just there, and that's where we would cut. I want this particular piece to be marked with a pencil, not cut, to be marked at 1 7/8 of an inch. So there's my 1 inch, and I need to count it in eighths. The eighths are the longer marks. So if you can see here, that's my first long mark. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that very last long mark is where I need to measure this. So popping that along, marking up there, making sure my paper is up against these edges just here. I'm going to put my ruler down, and I'm going to get my cutting section out of the way. And I'm going to grab my pencil, and I'm going to make a pencil mark at the top. Okay, and I'm going to do the same at the bottom. Just here. So I've got a mark at the top and a mark at the bottom at 1 7/8 of an inch. I now need to rotate that, and I need to make 2 more pencil marks, this time at 2 7/8. So I'm going to 2, and I'm going to count up the 7/8, and I'm going to make a pencil mark here. Alright, so I've now got my marks on each side of those, and those are my guides for cutting. I'm now going to pop these back into my trimmer, and I'm going to create my diamond. So I'm going to put the pencil mark here and the other pencil mark here. Pencil mark, and cut. Do the same on all 4 sides. So the pencil mark with the pencil mark and cut. Exactly the same again. Pencil mark and cut. And the pencil mark and cut. Okay, so that's my diamond, and that's my diamond, most importantly, that will fit nicely into there with a small ridge around it. Now, this is straightforward, you know, to cover. This little piece here is very straightforward to cover. This one, not so. So what you need to do to cover this is to cut another one of these, and then all you will do is to simply cut that one in half by positioning both points, that's the long points, on your cutting blade and cutting them. And that now will fit perfectly on there. Okay, so that will cover that side beautifully. Now all that remains are the little quarter triangles. Now you remember earlier on we cut off 4 little triangles from our original diamond. These are the ones that will fit in to these here. So all you do is you just pop them down, little border all the way around, and you would just glue those down, and then that would cover up those little sections beautifully. So just looking at my original card here, you can see I've got 1 orange diamond here, and I've got half an orange diamond here, my quarter diamond's covered, and these bits were just measured in the normal way. So that's really how you would go about covering and making your diamond fold card. Just a little bit about the decorating here. I've used the collectibles, and I've actually used the little label that comes from the paper pad here in the background. Now these little labels are wonderful, a real bonus I think with the Kaisercraft pads. All we need to do is to pop these out. One of the things that you'll find though is that they have all these little bubbles. I'm not sure whether you can actually see them. One way to get rid of those bubbles is to lick your finger and to just run that along, and you'll find that they will disappear and become nice and smooth. Another way to get rid of those bubbles is to take your Kaisercraft sanding block and to just gently rub against them, and you'll find that they will disappear as well. So 2 ways to get rid of those little bubbles. So that's your card. I popped up the beautiful little shapes from the collectibles pack in the front, and I have chosen to put some little teeny diamantes in their eyes to give them a bit of bling, because I do love bling. If you wanted, for a bit of fun, you could actually use a goggle eye instead, and that they would be quite fun to actually put onto the card. And just one other card here. I've made this one. You can see it is actually a little bit longer than the original one. And all I did was to increase the card size. So instead of cutting it 11 inches by 6, I cut this one 11 inches by 6¼ And I had to remember to add that 1/4 inch on when I was cutting for my diamonds. So that's the diamond fold card. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to catching up with you with another card foundation in the future. Thanks, Kaiser Crafters. This is Collette checking out. Bye.